My boyfriend was talking about sexual harassment from my girlfriends. I didn't believe him until, at first, it was just a little awkward. When I introduced Josh to my friends, Emma, Zoe, and Lila, something felt off. He smiled, he was polite, but I could tell he was tense. His responses were short, his body language stiff. He didn't engage the way he usually did with people. That night, after the dinner party, I asked him what he thought of them. He shrugged. They seemed fine. That was it. No joke, no comment, nothing. I laughed it off. You're just not used to my wild crew yet. But the next time I invited him out with us, he bailed. Then again, and again. There was always an excuse. He was tired. He had work. He needed alone time. Sometimes he'd offer to hang out with just me later, and I always said yes, because I loved being with him. But a voice in my head kept asking, is he just antisocial? I brushed it aside. He was sweet, funny, loyal. Not everyone clicks with everyone. Still, it started to create tension. You're dating a ghost, Zoe joked one night. Are we sure he's real? They laughed. I did too. But it stung. He's just private, I defended. He doesn't love big groups. Emma raised an eyebrow. Or maybe he doesn't love us. That night, I brought it up to Josh again. You can be honest. Do you not like my friends? He paused for a moment too. Long. It's not that, he said. It's complicated. But he didn't elaborate. And I didn't push. Weeks went by. Then months. He became more distant whenever they were mentioned. He'd flinch at their names. And if he ever did have to be in the same room with them, he barely made eye contact. Still, I didn't ask the real question. I didn't want to assume something was wrong. I didn't want drama. I just wanted peace. But peace was a lie. And one night it shattered. We had a fight. A stupid one at first, about him skipping Lila's birthday dinner. Again, I accused him of being antisocial, cold, inconsiderate. He stood there silently, face pale, jaw clenched. Just say it, Josh. You hate them. Fine. But stop making excuses. He looked at me, and I'll never forget the look in his eyes. I don't hate them, he said, voice shaking. I avoid them because they make me feel unsafe. The room went still. I blinked. What? He took a breath. They've been making comments, touching me, whispering disgusting stuff when you're not looking. Since the first day, I felt my stomach drop. My first instinct was denial. You're kidding. I'm not. Emma, Zoe, Lila, all three. He looked like he wanted to disappear. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make you choose. But every time I was around them, I felt humiliated, objectified. And when I told them to stop, they just laughed. I sat down, numb. Everything started making sense. His excuses, his tension, the way he always pulled away when they touched his arm or leaned in too close. And I had scolded him for being rude. I had pushed him into those moments. I had defended them. And now the person I loved the most didn't even feel safe around my people. At first it was nothing, just little things. He'd glance at his phone and turn the screen down, say he was tired and didn't want to come to my friend's dinner. Long day, babe. Rain check. I wasn't worried. Not really. Nico was quiet, thoughtful, the opposite of my chaotic group of girls. I figured he just needed time. But over the months, the pattern didn't change, it got worse. He started finding excuses days in advance. He'd make promises like, next time I'll come. I swear. Then flake the night before. My friends started noticing. At brunch, Harper laughed and said, your guy hates us, huh? And although she was joking, I saw the others exchange looks. Madison muttered, or maybe he's got someone else. I laughed it off, rolled my eyes. But that night, I stared at the ceiling for hours. Because what if they were right? One day I confronted him. We were driving home. He was tapping the steering wheel to some slow indie song. And I just blurted out, do you hate my friends or something? He blinked. What? You never come around. They think you're avoiding them. He was quiet. Too quiet. Then he sighed, eyes still on the road. I just don't feel comfortable around them. Why? I pressed. I don't know. They're intense. I don't feel like I fit in. I crossed my arms, annoyed. You don't even try, Nico. He didn't respond. We drove the rest of the way in silence. That night, I replayed the moment again and again. His face, his tone, and that flicker of something in his eyes, like fear. Not anxiety, fear. And suddenly something clicked. This wasn't just introversion. It wasn't about awkward small talk or different vibes. It was something deeper. He wasn't dodging my friends because he didn't like them. He was afraid of them. But why? I began watching closely. Once, I caught him flinch when I mentioned Harper's name. He covered it up quickly, but I saw it. Another time, he got a text from Madison. Just her name on the screen. Made him freeze. Why is Madison texting you? I asked casually. No reason, he mumbled, locking the phone. It was like watching someone try to hold a door shut, while a storm raged behind it. And I knew. There was something he wasn't telling me. Eventually, I cornered him. It was a Tuesday night. We were cooking. I put down the knife, looked him straight in the eyes, and said, I know something's wrong. I know it's not just shyness. If you want me to keep trusting you, talk to me. He stood there, frozen, like a statue sculpted out of pain. Then, in the quietest voice, he said, You won't believe me. Try me, I whispered. He looked away, swallowed. Your friends, they make comments. When you're not around. Out me. My body. My voice. I blinked, confused. What kind of comments? He clenched his jaw, eyes watery now. xual ones. My breath caught. They say things when they think I'm not listening. Sometimes. They touch me. Say it's a joke. He shook his head, stepping back. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to ruin your friendships. Or seem weak. Or like I was making things up. Silence stretched between us. Then I said the only thing I could. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He looked at me, voice breaking. Because every time I tried, you defended them. After Nico told me the truth, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking back to every time I'd brushed him off. Every time I'd laughed at Harper's jokes. Every time I told him, they're just teasing, don't take it seriously. God, I want to tear my own skin off. The next morning, I couldn't hold it in. I sent a message to my group chat. We need to talk. Tonight. All of us. They responded with their usual sass. Harper. Did you finally dump the silent brooding boy? Madison, let me guess, he cheated? Kayla. OMG, this sounds dramatic. I'm in. I almost threw my phone across the room. That evening, we met at Harper's place. I walked in shaking, my stomach in knots. They were all there, wine in hand, lounging like it was a movie night. So, Harper grinned. What's this about? I didn't waste time. Nico told me what's been happening. What you've been saying to him. ING. The room went still. Madison snorted. Oh my God. Are you serious? Don't even try to deny it, I said, my voice trembling. He told me about the comments, the touches, the pressure. Harper rolled her eyes. Jesus, he really made himself the victim, huh? You harassed him. I snapped. Kayla raised an eyebrow. It was all jokes. He never said stop. Because he was scared. They looked at each other, like I'd lost my mind. Madison crossed her arms. Okay, let's say we were out of line. Big deal. He's a grown man. He could have told you to shut us down. You think this is a joke? I asked. You think it's funny that he felt trapped around people brought into his life? Oh, come on, Harper said, standing up. You've known us for years. You're going to throw all that away because your boyfriend is sensitive. No, I said, because my boyfriend was being sexually harassed. And I refused to see it. Their faces shifted. Not guilt. Anger. You're choosing him over us? Madison asked. I'm choosing what's right. Wow, Harper muttered. You've changed. Good, I said. Because the old me ignored red flags. The old me defended people who didn't deserve it. I turned to leave. Don't bother texting me, I added. We're done. I cried the whole way home. Not for them. Not even for myself. For Nico. For how long he had to carry that silence. And for how long I let it happen. When I walked in the door, he looked up, startled. You okay? He asked. I walked over, sat beside him. I confronted them. He said nothing, just waited. They denied it, laughed, got angry. Still silence. But I believe you. His shoulders dropped, like he'd been holding his breath for months. I'm sorry I didn't protect you, I whispered. You did, he said softly. You believe me. That's all I ever needed. But I knew deep down, this wasn't over, because the damage had already been done. And some things can't be undone. I was shaking as I dialed Tara's number. She picked up with her usual bright tone. Hey, babe. What's up? I couldn't pretend. Not this time. I need to ask you something, I said, my voice trembling. Did you ever say or do anything to Ethan that could be seen as inappropriate? There was a pause, then a short laugh. Wait, what? Where is this coming from? I hesitated. He told me everything. About the jokes, the touching, the comments, the way you and the others acted around him. Another silence. This one longer. Then, oh my God, are you serious? We were joking. It was harmless fun. He's seriously making this a thing. I swallowed. My hands were clammy. It wasn't harmless to him. Jesus, she muttered. So now we're predators or something? I talked to Emily next. Then Sam. Every single conversation was the same. Laughter, denial, dismissal. You're blowing this out of proportion. He never said stop. He's a guy, guys like attention. And then came the real stab. I think he's manipulating you. That one came from Emily. Calm, confident, like she was trying to save me. Men like that, they twist things to make you feel sorry for them. You're letting him isolate you. My mind was spinning. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Were they serious? They flipped the entire thing around, made it sound like he was the abuser, like I was the naive idiot who fell for his lies. When I got home that night, Ethan was sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. I stood in the doorway, unsure how to even begin. I talked to them, I said finally. His head turned slightly, but his eyes didn't meet mine. They think you're lying. He nodded slowly, as if he already knew. They think you're manipulating me. Still no reaction. They're saying I'm overreacting, that you just made this up to turn me against them. That got him. He looked at me, really looked. Do you believe that? I felt a wave of shame crash over me. No, I whispered. I don't. I needed to hear it from them. I needed to know. Ethan let out a bitter laugh. Well, now you know. That night, I cried in the bathroom. Not because I didn't believe him, but because I had ever questioned it at all. Because I let them gaslight me. Because in some twisted way I had doubted him, even if only for a second. I kept replaying every moment in my head. The girls making dirty jokes while Ethan forced a smile, Tara hugging him from behind when I wasn't looking, Emily calling him boy toy in front of everyone. He wasn't lying. He never was. I was just too blind to see it. And now, I didn't know if I deserved his trust back. After that night, something shifted. Ethan didn't yell. He didn't cry. He didn't blame me. He just looked at me with a hollow expression, like something inside him had quietly died. The next morning, he was gone before I woke up. No note, no text, nothing. I tried calling him, no answer. Tried messaging him, left on read. For the first time since we started dating, I felt like a stranger to him. And maybe I was. I wanted to fix it. I needed to fix it. So I showed up at his apartment that evening. My hands were shaking, but I had prepared 1,000 things to say. He opened the door slowly. He looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days, like the weight of something invisible was dragging him down. I started speaking right away, saying how sorry I was, how I didn't know what they were doing to him, how I would have done anything to protect him if I had known. He didn't say a word, just stood there, staring. Eventually he said, "You think sorry makes this go away?" I tried to reply, but my voice cracked. He continued, low and tired. They touched me, joked about me, cornered me. And I had to smile through it all, because I didn't want to ruin your friendships. That's when I broke. I dropped to the couch and just cried. I was scared, I whispered. I thought you were pulling away because of me. I didn't know. He sat across from me, silent. I want to fix this, Ethan. I want to talk to them. I want to make it right. He shook his head. You still don't get it. This isn't about making it right. This is about something already broken. The next day, I texted all of them, Sam, Emily, Tara, and told them we needed to talk. We met in a quiet cafe. I went in expecting denial, maybe excuses. But what I got was worse. Tara laughed. You're kidding, right? He's acting like a victim. Sam rolled her eyes. We were just teasing. He could have said something. Emily shrugged. If he didn't want the attention, maybe he shouldn't dress like that. My stomach turned. I tried to explain that what they did was harassment, that it hurt him, that it wasn't just flirting. But they pushed back harder. You're overreacting. He's too sensitive. Why are you taking his side? That was the moment I realized I didn't know my friends at all. When I told Ethan about the conversation, he wasn't surprised. He just nodded and said, of course they'd say that. I wanted him to know I was on his side. I wanted him to see that I chose him. But something in his eyes had changed. Trust. It was gone. He still let me stay the night sometimes. Still answered my calls. But the warmth was gone. His touch was colder. His voice quieter. It was like I was watching him fade in real time. And the worst part? I couldn't blame him. We were lying in bed one night in total silence when I asked, do you still love me? He didn't answer at first. Then he said, I don't know what that means anymore. That silence hit harder than any scream. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering how much of him I had already lost. Wondering if I ever really had him to begin with. Let me know when you're ready for. It had been hours since I last heard from him. His phone went straight to voicemail. His location was off. No texts, no calls. Just silence. At first, I thought he needed space. I mean, after everything, who could blame him? But as the clock ticked past midnight, something dark began to bloom inside my chest. Panic, guilt, fear. I sat on the floor of our bedroom, knees pulled to my chest, just staring at the door. I half expected him to walk in and break the silence with something sarcastic, something him. But it didn't happen. The worst part? I didn't know if he was trying to punish me, protect himself, or just give up. The night before, we had a fight, not a yelling match, but a cold, sharp exchange. I told him I confronted the girls, but when he asked how it went, I hesitated. He knew. He always knew when I was hiding something. Did they admit it? He asked. And I said the one thing I regret more than anything. They said you misunderstood everything. He didn't say anything back. He just stared at me for a long time, like I had slapped him across the face. Then he quietly got up, grabbed his jacket, and left. I should have run after him. I should have told him I believed him, even if the girls tried to twist the story. But I didn't. I sat there, torn between loyalty to my friends and the growing, aching truth. Now I can't undo it. I kept replaying his words in my mind. I didn't tell you to make you fix them. I told you because I needed you on my side. But I wasn't. Not fully. And that destroyed him. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed, clutching the pillow that still smelled like him, scrolling through our old texts, our photos, our memories. I was grieving someone who wasn't even gone. Not yet, but who had already started slipping away from me. At 3:12 a.m., I got a message. It was from him. I'm safe. Don't wait up. That was it. No, I love you. No, we'll talk later. Just 7 words that shattered me more than silence ever could. I felt something inside me fracture. Like I had crossed a line I didn't even see coming. I had always thought love was about communication, trust, forgiveness. But now I saw how fragile those things are when you don't fight for them. When you doubt someone at their lowest. When you let your fear of being wrong override what your heart is screaming is right. I curled up under the covers, shaking. And for the first time in years, I cried myself to sleep. Not because he left, but because I realized I would have left me too. It's been 3 weeks since he left. No more late night texts. No sarcastic good mornings. No more us. At first, I hoped it was just a break. I clung to the idea that we'd talk, scream, cry. Anything but this awful silence. But deep down, I knew. I knew the second he walked out that door, I had already lost him. The only message I ever got after that night was from his sister. She said he'd moved in with her for a while, that he was okay, that he needed time to heal. I didn't respond. What could I say? I'm sorry. Didn't even begin to scratch the surface. I had spent so long believing I was a good girlfriend, that I listened, supported, loved. But when he needed me most, when he came to me raw and honest, sharing something painful and humiliating, I didn't choose him. I chose to doubt. I chose the easier narrative, because if he was telling the truth, then my friends were monsters, and I wasn't ready to face that. But now I have to, because he's gone. And I'm left with the reality that the people I called my closest friends manipulated me, lied to me, and hurt the person I loved, and I let them. I've cut them off since then. All of them. But it feels like trying to rebuild a house after the fires already destroyed everything inside. The foundation is gone, and I'm the one who lit the match. I thought he might reach out eventually. I even drafted messages, typed and deleted them late at night. But he never replied. And now I don't blame him. He trusted me with something vulnerable, and I handed it back covered in doubt. I saw him once by accident. A few days ago, he was at the bookstore we used to go to on Sundays. He looked better, healthier, like someone learning to breathe again. He didn't see me, and I didn't approach. I wanted to say something, anything. But what do you say to the person you loved and failed? So I let him go. For real this time. I stood there behind a shelf, watching him for a minute, the way his fingers flipped the pages, the way he smiled at the cashier. And I let the tears come. Not for him, for me. Because now I understand that love isn't just about showing up. It's about showing up when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when it costs you something. And I didn't. I let fear decide. And fear doesn't love anyone back. So if you're reading this, whoever you are, learn from me. Believe the people you love, even when the truth scares you, especially when it does, asterisk, asterisk.